Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're doing better than you were yesterday. And I hope tomorrow you're going to be better than you are today. Okay? Here we go again. Another one of those delicious videos out of Israel. Early in the morning over here. 7:02, March 27, 2022. And here we go. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Go ahead and do that now. Let's get that out the way. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button and also hit that bell and click on all notifications so that every time I put one of these delicious videos up, you can get a notification. But first, what I want to do also, I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you. What I want to do first is to tell you thank you for subscribing. Those of you that have, I really appreciate it. I have a incredible amount of subscribers, a whole 103. And I'm so happy for you all. I'm so thankful because I remember when I first started, I had a whole 0 and 0. But it's slowly creeping up because intelligent listeners like you are, and you like the commentary that I, put out. And it's from my heart. I'm one of those rare souls that still have morals and values, and love of mankind, peace, harmony, those type things. And this is my motivation for speaking because I know there are a lot of other people like me. Just genuinely good people in all colors. Even though I'm a Nubian brother, I'm not stuck on a color thing, This is transcending color. It's to a point where it's about the human family, the human population on planet Earth. And today we have one common enemy that is out to destroy us. And if you don't know that by now, you got to know it. Based upon the things that they're doing, they're showing us exactly who they are and also showing us what we need to be doing in these days, March 27, 2022. And that is preparing for the worst. Preparing for the worst. Because this situation that's going on right now, it's a terrible thing. It could get real awful. Because, it's just amazing that the individuals, most of them, matter of fact, let's say America specifically, have shown themselves throughout history to be some of the most ravenous, demonic, evil, bloodletting, wicked, corrupt liars on planet Earth. Murderers have no problem killing innocent people. And this is what history has shown. And they get real antsy, get prick up their butt when somebody call that out, when somebody point that out. When you talk about the history of the evil that America's done, they really get pissed. It's just like, the old man say, the thief, stealing don't bother the thief. That's what he do. What bothers the thief is when you catch him. Now you got to stop for whatever period of time you got him. That's what bothers him. But stealing don't bother the thief. Murdering don't bother the murderer. What bothers them is when they get caught murdering. So what America does, it don't bother them. Not one iota. All this thing that's going on right now is for one reason and one reason only. A grand cover-up. The West is hell-bent on keeping the lid on the incredible filth, corruption, evil operation that they've been doing quietly in the Ukraine. Everything from A to Z. I mean, the list is long. of the incredible corruption. When you're talking about the money, follow the money. Corrupt politicians have been laundering their dirty money through Ukraine when it's become too complicated in Ukraine, Afghanistan. Afghanistan became too complicated for them, and so they moved their operations into Ukraine because they got a president that would dance with them. I mean, dude out there dancing for the stars, high heels, tight pants on, and remember he played that part as the president. So America looks, yeah, that'll be a good sucker for us. Boom, there he is. So he dancing to the beat of this agenda, you know what I'm saying, to cover up the West filth. You see, they're trying to keep a lid on their corruption, you know. Now, the nuclear bomb was already dropped in America. See, this fight, the wars today, they're not fought like they were in Vietnam and Korea. Get out there in the jungle and shoot at the enemy through the woods. They ain't fighting like that. They're at another whole level because why? America has the largest nuclear arsenal on planet Earth. Russia had the second largest nuclear arsenal on planet Earth. So what does that mean? They both had the ability to destroy all living life on planet Earth. Now, if they go into a nuclear war, Russia shoots its missiles on hypersonic missiles that can travel at 15 times the speed of sound, which means it'll get to its target in a matter of minutes. And America shoot nuclear missiles and they pass each other in the sky, and they detonate one on one side of the planet, or a few on one side of the planet hitting Russia, and a few on the other side of the planet hitting America, and all the millions and millions and millions of people dead, and then those that don't get killed in the blast, over time they get killed in the radiation they done unleashed on the planet. So eventually everything is dead. And this is why Vladimir Putin said full-scale nuclear war, there are no winners. So I know they crazy, but are they that crazy to destroy themselves and everybody else? Hell yeah, absolutely. These are guys, and when they get broke, they jump out the window. They find out they broke for whatever strange reason. They ain't got no millions and billions, they gone. What you think Bezos will do if he one day wake up, he flat broke? He can't power that big $100 million mega yacht he got. Out the window, he go. So yeah, they'll kill you and everybody else. And so this is why I want to talk to you today. These ding dong, Klaus Schwab and Kevin Trudeau, what's his name? Kevin Trudeau? No, whatever that dude in Canada named, Trudeau, I forgot his first name. And Biden and all these demons that you don't know about working in the background with their evil agenda. Yeah, prices have gone up. Absolutely. I went yesterday and did a little shopping. Man, I was blown away. 5 pieces of bread was 19 shekels. That's like $6 and some change. I'm like, what the hizzer? Man, I got 200 shekels worth of food, and I brought it home in 2 plastic bags. Can you imagine that? Some bags of lettuce, 4 apples, 2 cartons of milk, oat milk. I mean, hardly nothing. 200 shekels. It's like $60. 2 bags. So, this is what I want to tell you. It's time to prepare for the worst. And just like the wisdom says, it's best to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And exactly what I mean by preparing for the worst. It's real simple. It's 3 elements. Number 1, there's no electricity. What do? You have no electricity. Your refrigeration is out. Your food is spoiling. You can't, no cell phone chargers, no TVs. So that's basically your communication is done because you communicate around the world on internet, and that uses electricity. All electricity gone. The next portion is there's no food to buy on the shelves in the supermarket. You can't get there. Why? Your car is out of gas and you can't get any gas because the electricity don't work in the fuel station to be able to pump the fuel out of the ground into your tank. So once you run out of the gas that's in your car, you're done. Then, remember, there's no electricity. You can't even go to the ATM and get the money that's in the ATM. ATM is not working. No electricity. The next point, with the food, none. What are you going to do? After that, water. So we're talking electricity, food, and water. What happens when all that's gone, not available? That's what you have to prepare for. And then protection. Because, you got some people, they're so used to this life that it's so sensitive. Living in this society is so incredibly sensitive because your food, you depend on their stores going to the market and have it, and your money, you understand? And this is what you're programmed to do. The younger generation, they don't have a clue about food, where it comes from, or even how to grow it. When you ask them where the food come from, they'll say the store. And you have to stop and think. The only place their little minds and eyes had ever seen food was in the store. And if you haven't taken them out to someplace, a garden, and put a seed down and watch it grow so they'll understand, their only knowledge of food source is the shelves on the store. And now there's no food on the shelves in the store. What are you going to do? This is the preparation. When the electricity out, what do? No food in the shelves on the store, what do? And no source of water, what do? I would rather be prepared and nothing never happened than it happened and I'm not prepared. And I'm talking to others over here in Israel about the same scenario. Israel, they are a triple security state used to war and battle and alarms and bombs. So it's not really hard, to get prepared over here. All you got to do is reach out, you know what I'm saying? And they got it for you. America, I don't know if you all know this, but America have no nuclear fallout shelter for the people to run to. Did you know that? Think about it. If there was a war and bomb was raining down in America, where would you run to? You running and running, but where are you going? You're just out there running. America don't even have nuclear fallout shelter for the masses. Not even 1,000 people. Did you realize that? But then while they talking all this bullshit about Russia is totally prepared with nuclear fallout shelter stocked to the hilt. People can go down in there, sit it out, drink, eat, sleep, facilities already prepared. While you all getting played like Madden. You ain't even thought about that. America does not have a war scenario plan for the masses, only for the government. Oh yeah, they got holes to run in for themselves. Someone had told me once that when Nelson Mandela made transition, why is it that so many world leaders convened in South Africa? It was they wasn't necessarily going there for Nelson Mandela. They did that whole, pay respect to him. But I was told they actually went there undercover to view the doomsday facilities that they've built in South Africa for the world leaders. You know, and a lot of these clowns, they do whatever they can to hang into power. Because if you one of them, you can get up in there. But if you're not one of the world leaders, you can't get there. And so they are expecting this doomsday scenario to jump off, so they already ready. You know, before it happened, they're already on the plane and out. You don't even know it. You walk around the streets, still doing what you're doing. When it hit the fan, you're going to be the last informed. Because they don't want you to know, so they can get on out the way easy. They're going to slide out with no panic and already sitting tight. And then when y'all find out it done hit the fan and you start panicking, running around in the street, they already gone, comfortable, and they laid out doomsday facilities and, you know, watching you panic in the street because they did it. They're doing this, you know. So my dissertation today to you is about being prepared for the worst. No electricity, no food on the shelf, and no water. Now, after those three majors, protection, because you have people that won't be prepared, they ain't taking it serious, they're going to be hungry, desperate, and out of their mind, panic mode, and frantic. And you're going to have to protect yourself from those people. I don't know how many of you all ever, okay, I'm a good swimmer. I learned to swim, and then I did a little, you know, lifeguard training a little bit. And the first thing they tell you, I remember, never forget when we were standing on the side of the pool and the instructor was teaching us how to save people from drowning. I remember the first thing he said, we were standing on that pool, I'll never forget it. He said the very first thing in saving a drowning person, he said this is the most important thing you got to remember. When a person realizes that they're drowning, that's one step. He said when you realize they're drowning, that's two steps. He said the third step, the first thing above those is you don't jump in the water to save them. I'm like, what? I looked at the instructor, I'm like, what? He said when that person realizes they're drowning, fear is going to grip them and they'll be 10 times stronger than what they normally are. And when you jump in the water with them, out of their fear of struggling for their life, they will drown you. Because they'll have a grip like a giant. And you getting at them, they're going to try to push themselves up to get air. And you being pushed down in the water with a man or a woman that have the strength of 10 men. He said, first thing you do, don't jump in the water. Let them fight. He said, because in a little bit, they're going to give out of energy. And then you'll see them go limp. He said, now you go get them. They don't have no more fight in them. I said, oh, okay. That makes sense. So how does that relate to what we're talking about here? If it hit the fan to a point where now you got to get into your doomsday shelter, you got to depend on your preparation, and you have other people that didn't, they're going to be drowning. And you're going to have to protect yourself from them. Because they're going to be afraid, be panicked, full of fear, and stoned out of their mind, beyond reasoning. And you got to be ready for it. And being ready for it, you know, in America, there's 3.5 times more guns there are people. And in the panic mode, you better best believe they got a weapon. And they hungry, and their family is hungry, and you got food, and they don't. You see where I'm going with this? This is how serious this is. You don't want this to sneak up on you. Those people running around over there in Ukraine and Russia, they didn't know that day they were going to wake up and have to run out of their house. They didn't know that they were going to wake up and bombs is dropping down on them. They didn't know that they would wake up. That was the day. That was it. Ain't no time to grab nothing. Ain't no time to prepare, sit and think and pray or wish or hope or nothing. It's time to get out of here. In the freezing ice cold. Gotta go. So you see how quick it can hit? So while you got an opportunity, better take this in consideration. Next week you may not have time for next week. It may hit tomorrow. But if you do, better be like me. Better be trying to access some MREs, meals ready to eat. Stack them up. You know, there's a facility in America that sells the doomsday food, buckets of food and stuff. He said that stuff good for 25 years storage on the shelf. They say they can't even get orders filled. They so backlogged with orders because people is concerned. You know, people are concerned, man. The preppers. I was telling a friend of mine this yesterday. He's over there in Louisiana. They got him a house they working on repairing and everything. And I told him and his wife, they both was on the phone listening. And I said, looking at the situation that's taking place on planet Earth today, it would be a great idea to be prepared, you know, just in case. Hope it don't get that bad, but if it does, you want to be ready. And I said, y'all in Louisiana, they have prepper communities all around the world, all around the country. You know those doomsday scenario people, the survivalists they call them. And in those communities, in those groups, you have people that are military trained, you know, survival skills. You know, they could teach you weapons training, how to source good water, how to purify water so you can have some water to drink and it won't kill you. Eat certain plants out on the land and certain things that you probably wouldn't think you could eat, but when you get hungry, don't worry, you'll eat it. It become a delicacy. It tastes real good. And those other skills that you would need when the ish hit the fan. No electricity, no food, no water. What happened if this draw out to next year and it be in the middle of winter? It's freezing cold. Now you need to know how to keep yourself warm. Maybe start a fire with no matches, no gas, none of those things. What if it happened in the summer, searing heat? How do you take care of yourself? You understand? All these points are going to be crucial when it comes to survival. Now, if they don't drop nuclear bombs, you ain't got to worry about it. Just stick your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. In a little bit, you gone. Don't even worry about it. Just hang in there. They'll cut your life short. And that's a sad state of affairs, man, to even have a thought like that these demons would one day probably, they have the ability to destroy the world, the life, you know. It's just a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty. This is just a terrible thing, man. You know, I've said in my mind many times, how in the world did 9 billion people get in a situation where just a few thousand, or maybe less really, because it's only one cloud swab, just a handful of people have the power to do what they want to do. Literally. I mean, just think about it. These guys, they can do what they want to do. They got the money, they got the influence, they can pay people to do what they want them to do. I listened to this doctor the other day, yesterday, explain how he was approached by the pharmaceutical giants throwing money at him to make him shut up about the incredible, terrible results that he's been getting. You know what I'm saying? And he was talking like, man, they were going to give him a sign-on bonus of $1 million. And then a monthly salary of $50,000 just to shut his mouth. Wow. Did he take it? He said he didn't. You know, but did he stop writing? He said he didn't. Start, you know, informing people what's really going on. That kind of money, $1 million to stop in a month's salary, 50 grand. And you know how they work. You don't even have to come to the office. They just, you know, it's in your bank every month. Just to shut up. Stop telling people the truth. Man, that's crazy. I've said on many occasions that these are not human that's doing these things. Like, okay, what would be the reason? What would be the wisdom? What would be the reason to kill billions of people off this planet? Billions of human beings. Why? What's the purpose of that? I haven't heard that as of yet. I've heard Bill Gates say useless eaters, because they don't contribute. He called useless eaters those that don't contribute anything to society, that are a drain on the system. Those taxpaying people that's contributing to society. He's saying that the useless eaters are taken away from them, and we need to lower the numbers. So how do you stand up and make that determination of who get to live and who die? You see that? As opposed to taking that energy and coming up with ways and means of adjusting the society so that everybody can be okay. But they can't do that. They cannot do that because they are Euro-Gentile barbarians walking around in $2,000 Armani suits and billions of dollars in the bank. They can't do that. Like, okay, you're going to come up with a way that everybody can be okay? Can't do that. It's too much like right. What do you mean? Everybody be okay. It's a barbaric mindset. So that's what we need to be looking at now. These jokers, it could get real ugly. Yeah. The way they're talking and carrying on, we don't want it to sneak up on us. Can you imagine no electricity? I remember when I moved in my condo, as I was moving and getting things situated and going back and forth, I hadn't bought me a new refrigerator, and several days went by before I could get to it because I had that going, working, and a bunch of other stuff. And I was drinking water out of the filter, room temperature water. Let me show you how we get so, we've gotten so comfortable with our convenience. After several days, and it was hot. I moved in July. Yeah, it was in July. Summertime, was hot. And so I was drinking warm room temperature water, and because it was so hot, it was warm water. Not hot water, but it was room temperature. Do you know, after so many days, I got to a point where I was longing for a cool drink of water? And I didn't know anyone in the building I could say, hey, let me get a drink of water. I wasn't going to do that anyway because I drink that particular, filter water. And so I remember every day I'm like, man, I like a cold glass of water. I didn't have a refrigerator. And so I thought about that. How we are so accustomed to our conveniences. The internet. You want to know something, you just pop your phone out, type it in, there's Google. You got it. All the different drinks, and you can go to your favorite restaurant and get your favorite dish. When you have a craving for some type of food, you can just get it, And so without even realizing, we become hypnotized into that lifestyle. It's just everything you want, so convenient. Whole Foods is there. You got all the food you can get, the grocery store, your favorite restaurants and everything. and it's just there. And you just move around, you get it, and then you never consider what happens if this stuff break down and we can't get this. What? It would be a serious situation, because some people don't have the discipline to do without. Like, they would panic, and you have some whacked out people. Oh, good God Almighty! Listen to this. What happened when the cigarette smokers can't get cigarettes? Whoa! You see what I'm saying? You didn't think about that, did you? Do you know how those people act that smoke cigarettes when they need a smoke? I mean, they be scratching and itching and ain't nothing on their mind, nothing but getting a smoke. Now, can you imagine when the ish hit the fan and all hell done broke loose and ain't nothing working, the trucks ain't rolling, the stores out of cigarettes, the people that's hooked on nicotine, tobacco, they can't get a smoke. They the ones also gonna be running around bat crazy out their mind. Woo! Didn't think about that, did you? No cigarette. You know what that reminds me of? In London, when they had the truck strike, no trucks was rolling. After a few days of that, I remember this because I don't smoke. After a few days of the trucks not rolling, the stores and the supermarket and the convenience stores ran out of cigarettes. And after that, several days go by, a few days or whatever period of time, the cigarette smokers found out where the main warehouse that they store the cigarettes, the truck go load up and deliver them. The cigarette smokers found out where that warehouse was at. This happened in London years ago. And many cigarette smokers convened on that warehouse, broke into it, not to steal anything, but to fire up and smoke. So when the police came, all these people standing around smoking. That's how serious this is. That's how serious they can get. Can you imagine that? Just think of all of the millions and millions of cigarette smokers, and if they can't get their cigarette. The people that have habits, and you don't even realize you have a habit until that you habitually deal with, you can't access anymore. Now you tripping. You can't think about nothing else. I saw that on London. It was amazing. The people weren't trying to steal nothing. They were just in there needing to smoke. They broke in the warehouse, got them cigarettes fired up, and just stood there and smoked. Police came in, all hot, and they stopped, looked around, cigarette smoke thick in the air. That's all they wanted. Wow. So you see how we have been, hypnotized into all these conveniences. People going to third world countries, coming out of America and other nations that they claim develop. And they go into other nations that don't have all the conveniences that you can find in the West. And they struggle. Talking about they don't have this snack and food tastes funny. Because you so, rooted in that you know. You can't deal with nothing else. You can't deal without it. All of the chemicals that's in the foods that you eat. I listened to this sister yesterday talk about her and her family. They moved to Botswana, one of these countries. Was it Botswana or Great Britain? Anyway, the sister, she moved out of America. African American sister. her and her family, they moved out of America. And she said she's been there a couple of months or something, not very long. She said she noticed she lost 20 pounds of weight. Not trying. And she showed all the cereals that they eat and the food and everything, but they bought it over there. It's manufactured there. And she said that the problem, which wasn't a problem, is that the country that she was living in, I forgot what country, man, I can't remember what country she said, but I remember the point she was making. She said because these products are American products, but they're actually manufactured over here because America put products and chemicals in the food that is illegal in this country. So they have factories here to manufacture without all those chemicals. She said, I lost 20 pounds without even trying. Mm-hmm. 20 pounds without even trying. She said, I feel a lot better. She said, it's meat, but it's all produced over here without the chemicals and all the stuff, additives that they put in food in America. Cause you craving, cause you addiction to certain things, overweight, health problem, because what? You got some evil ass old bandit sitting up smoking a cigar, heavily invested in the food industry, the pharmaceutical industry, the health industry, the drug industry. And they're making billions in sickness. So, it's a sad thing to be on the planet where all the bandits with all the money, some evil, corrupt, demonic assholes that don't have the best interests of the people at hand, where it could be on the flip side and you still make money. You producing things that's extra good for the people and you still got your billion. You understand? But they real, I think a lot of them people, especially the billionaires running around talking about we need to depopulate too many people on the world. They done got beside themselves. Because those billions of people is how you made all that money that's in your pocket. So now you got the money, you don't need the people. If that's the case, you're gonna go broke. Jeff Bezos sells products to millions of people every day. And so he's able to go buy him $100 million yacht or more and pay to have the bridge disassembled so he can get it out to the ocean and be able to spend that kind of money because he got Amazon steady churning out cash from selling stuff to people. Billions of people. And so in their incredible wisdom, they're going to wipe out all the people that they sold all the stuff to get all that money in their pocket. Now they don't need you. Okay, so if you're going to wipe out 2, 3, 4, 5 billion people, who the hell you going to sell to? Ain't nobody around to buy your stuff. Then what you going to do? It's just going to be you and all your money. That's crazy as hell, man. You know what? These niggas out their mind. Boy, I tell you the truth. You're going to make you $150 billion, and they going to turn around and kill everybody that gave you the money. Talking about they just some suckers. Oh, you all of a sudden, you and your bald head, big eyed self, you all of a sudden, you don't need nobody. Yeah, okay. It's crazy, man. So that's what I'm telling you today. Be prepared. Let's be prepared. Let's be ready, just in case the ish hit the fan. If the ish don't hit the fan, we was ready. But if the ish do hit the fan, we ready. Okay? that's what I'm telling you today. Let's be prepared and ready and have it and not ever need it than to need it and we ain't got it. All right. Okay, I'm gonna roll on. Got a little work to do. Jump around and collect my coins, get finished, and going back to the house. But as always, I tell you, I say these things because I love you, and I do. And some of this you don't know, some of it you already know. And everything will be all right. Okay? Remember, I talk to you because I love you. I mean, you could tell it, can't you? You should be. You should be able to say, this brother, you know, you're all right. You know, he genuine, like his spirit. I'm going to subscribe to his channel. I'm going to tell other people to listen to him and subscribe. And hit that like button and hit the bell so that when he drop them, we get notified. Because he's a genuine soul brother. And I tell you, I love you because I do. But how much? Man, I love you from the basement of my heart all the way up to the attic of my mind. Oh, I love you 24/7. That means I love you all the time. Yeah.